many of you know the story how I got introduced to Krishna consciousness. And I was asked to come to Singapore by my sister. Her name now is Priti Kumari Devidasi. She told me to come to Singapore, and her bait means somehow to hook was, I'll show you entire Singapore. That's how she told me to come to Singapore. Basically, she wanted to invite me for a retreat, ISKCON retreat. And I was not interested in the spirituality and all. I said, yeah, I'm the world do all this. I was working in JP Morgan Chase, one of the top investment banks of the world. So I said, I won't come. I have many other things to do. So she said, I will show you entire Singapore. I said, oh, that's a good deal. So I came there. It was Kartik month. And one night before, there was a drama of Jagannath Ji. That one devotee, how she became that devotee. My sister became that devotee in a drama, and she was acting that she was crying for Lord Jagannath to get his darshan. But she was really crying. And sometimes you say, please, in drama. She was really crying. I was thinking, my God, what? I mean, real acting. But other devotees felt the same mood what my sister was showing. So that was day one. And second day, in the evening, during Kartik month, we do this Damodar Ashtakam, where you offer ghee lamp to the deities. You offer diya to the deities. And that time in the big screen, they were showing all the darshan of Krishna from all over the world. It was a big, this is 10 years back, so we don't have TV and all. We used to have projector, and it was a project, all that. So the big projector was there on that. They were showing Radha Krishna deities from all over the ISKCON, from all over the world, Nigeria, this, that. While I was seeing, I was thinking, my God, my Krishna is international. I was thinking like that. And as the pictures were passing by, I started to realize that because I was already applying for visa in USA and all that, I started realizing that Krishna consciousness, what they are teaching, is not local to some sect. It is international. And just that feeling is not something ordinary, which I was thinking it as. It is something beyond it. And so a lot of things were going in my mind that time. And suddenly a drop of tears, and I was feeling like, what is this? And that day I felt that I don't know what is this, but there is something important that I should at least try to learn what it is. And then from that day, I started chanting one round. Nobody told me to do it. I just felt I want to do it. And by the end of the entire trip, the trip was over, I was chanting 16 rounds, within 2 days. And my takeaway was, what was the moment when I felt I want to learn this, I want to understand this philosophy, was this video which was going on in Radha Krishna deities from all over the world. And it was very touching. The entire lights were off, and the entire focus was on that lamps, because light was coming from it, and the focus was on Radha Krishna. And there is a devotee, his name is Devaki Nandan Das. He stays in Singapore near East Asia, some of you, if you Google him. He has a very sweet voice, very simple. That person is lawyer, very renowned lawyer, but he left everything and he's only doing one thing, which is spreading Krishna consciousness. So a very surrendered soul. So he was singing. Afterwards I came to know about his everything. So, but yeah, that's the reason I play this, because it's very close to my heart personally. Anyway, I just wanted to give that introduction. Again, thank you so much for coming. What we'll do is, we completed one chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Basically, we read the verses only. After that, we did a quick kirtan. And now we'll start with from where we left off last week, which was chapter number 12 and verse number 10. Verse number 10. Oh, before that, thank you. Whenever I see Ruchi, I remember. We are supposed to do Mangalacharan prayers. So, we will quickly do Mangalacharan prayers. Whenever we do any yajna, we pray to the deities, right? That whatever I'm doing, whatever yajna or spirituality I'm doing, it goes safely and with auspiciousness. So these Mangalacharan prayers actually brings auspiciousness. So it's in the introduction. page number 1, and you can read the Sanskrit verses, or you can see from here. Is everybody able to see? You are able to see? And that side, Valli, you? Yeah. Okay. So it's easy for you all to see. I not made any slides today. I'll directly post on Instagram whatever I was meditating on. Okay. So we can read together. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Savijatam Sahagana Raghunathamutam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanutamsam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Srimate Bhakti Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Devi Shashanyavadi Shri Shaitanya Nikam Karati Vachalam Pangum Langa Eke Yattipadam Vande Shri Guru Vindavanam Kalinam Hare Krishna. So we are on the verse number 10. Spiritual literatures are very special. Usually if you see the education that we have in material education, ABCD, then we understand physics or chemistry, whatever, biology, and then we finally learn ChatGPT, depends which domain you are in. But it goes like this. Once you are in engineering, you don't again start A for apple, B for ball, C for cat, D for dog. No, it's done and dusted. Right? Now build on top of it. That is material education. But spiritual education works differently. It works spirally. So we learn something, we are learning the same thing again and again, but in much more depth. Slowly, much more depth. So Bhagavad Gita is also like that. If you see the entire Bhagavad Gita from chapter number 1, so he's trying to open it. Chapter number 1 to chapter number 18, Krishna sort of is speaking the same thing, but in much more depth. That's why from wherever you read Bhagavad Gita, we'll be able to understand what Krishna is speaking. It's not like you want to start from chapter number 1 only. You can read from chapter number 2 or from now we are in chapter number 2. Many of you joined during 4th chapter, some of you joined during 10th chapter. 10th chapter was the longest, one of the longest one. Yeah, 10th, because we did that Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita, 11th chapter. So, like that. So So now what we are doing is chapter number 12. There is one devotee, his name is Kanai Thakur Das. He is from Pune. He was telling once a story. I like the story a lot. So I'll just talk about it. Once he was traveling in a train, Mumbai, some sort of not intercity train, basically moving from one city to or one state to another state, like that. So he was traveling in that, and he was in upper berth, not in higher realm, like upper berth. There are 3 berths, like that. So he had only one book, Bhagavad Gita. That was the only book that he had, and he was just reading that book, Bhagavad Gita, and there was one person who just after one station came, he got into the train and he was in the upper berth. He also got into upper berth, and once the next station came, that other person got down from that train. He took some magazines, bought some magazines, and he went back to the higher berth, top berth, whatever it was. And Kanai Thakur Das, this devotee, he was just observing that entire thing. And then he was busy reading his Bhagavad Gita, and then the other person was reading some other magazines and all. So once his destination came, he got down, that other person was getting down from the train and leaving all that magazines on the upper berth. So this devotee called him that you forgot your magazines. I mean, right? We sometimes say that, oh, you forgot this. So that this devotee also said that you forgot that magazines at upper berth. Then this person said that, wo raddi hai. Raddi in English means it's a waste material. So then this devotee, in one of the class, he was saying that all that waste material from that entire train journey, he was putting in his head. He knew it is a waste material. He still bought that waste material and he put it in his head, because he didn't know what else he can do. Currently in today's world, we don't know where to put our energy. Do you agree? Right? We are so busy in Instagram, so busy in other things. When we were trying to, we just started Instagram and all because we thought the market is there. So we created, I didn't know anything about it. That was the first time I also logged in. And we created a group, what we created, what we call it? Group we call? Page. We created a page and everything. So then after that I told Achyut Balram, he is not here, he will soon come. So I told him that we should do something similar for Stanford also. So I told, but first thing that you have to do is, you also have to log in. Because imagine you are creating a page and no one is there. At least one person should join, right? So I told him, you should be that one person. He said, no, Prabhu. Prabhu means he just, so he said, no, I'll make sure that someone joins, but I don't want to join Instagram. Why is that? Because he knows that it's like a black hole. You know black hole? Once you get into it, you cannot come out of it. Right? So people are wasting time left, right, center, here, there, everywhere. Right? That's why I asked Ishan Prabhu, please lead this. Lead this effort. So it's that black hole. But at the same time, in some other world, there are devotees who are busy reading scriptures, who are busy reading Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, and associating with other devotees, other Vaishnavas, other like-minded people. So this community that we have, small community, is one such platform where you can meet more such like-minded people. It is said that we see the world. Darshan. Darshan means to see the world. Darshan just doesn't mean to view. When we go to the temple, we take darshan of the deities. That is not the darshan. Darshan means drishya. Drishya means to see. See also means to see the deities. So initially, when we are not spiritual, we see the entire world. The darshan that we take is from our senses and from our sentiments, which is from our senses and from the mind. Right? Whatever is happening in the world, how we are perceiving it from our senses. Right? Chatu. It's called charma yoga, charma gyan. Basically from the senses, from the gross senses, or from the sentiments, which is from the mind. But as we start reading scriptures and as we start associating with sadhus, we see the same thing not through senses and through sentiments, but through spirit soul. We see the world not through senses but through spirit soul. How? Let's say something is going on and something is disturbing. We understand at the end, core of the thing is we are not this material body, we are the spirit soul. And this entire world is defined as dukkhalayam ashashvatam. This material world, the definition, everything is a definition, right? This material world, the definition is dukkhalayam ashashvatam. Alayam means a place. Pustakalaya means a place where there are books. Shauchalaya means where you go, right? So like that, alaya means a place. Similarly, Granthalaya means again a place where there are granth, there are spiritual books. Similarly, we have Dukkhalaya means a place where there is suffering. This place is designed to have suffering. But how can we perceive that? Through scriptures and through sadhus, when we associate with sadhus. Till then, we will keep seeing that this place is, oh, why am I suffering? Why am I suffering? But when we read scriptures, we understand, oh, that's a default behavior of the world. It will always have a pinprick. Whatever happens, like see manager, I always give this example. Everything is going well, you have now year-end review. You go to your manager, year-end review has come. You are all excited, yeah, bonus, RSUs, right? Manager has his own plans, you have your own plans. When you go to manager will say, Arey Abhishek, my name is Abhishek. Arey, everything was going, is good, you're doing this, you're doing that. Your manager, my manager means her manager, my manager is a she. She's also very happy. And then the architects are also very happy. Everyone in the company is very happy. The CEO is also very happy with your work. That's exaggerating. But, finally there will be a pinprick. But, then she will say, give full list. This is there, this is there, this is there. So your final number is this. And then you were thinking that, arey, everything was going well. Where is this but came? But that is the nature of the world. Dukkhalaya. And ashashvatam. Ashashvatam means, shashvat means permanent. See, you will never see a person's name ashashvat. You will see shashvat. Shashvat means one who is eternal. Ashashvat, imagine he's already telling, I am ashashvat. That which is not eternal. So, this temporary, this material world is dukkhalaya, but it is temporary. That means there is something permanent as well. This is temporary, that something is eternal. And Krishna explains that. What is eternal in this material world? Beyond this material world. But how will we understand, or how will we have a perception is through scriptures. If you are not going through scriptures, then you will see this world with senses and sentiments. And that will lead to frustration. And that's why I always say, either you will lead your life with spiritual inspiration, or you will lead your life with material frustration. The choice is ours. Either you will lead your life with spiritual inspiration or with material frustration. The choice is ours. And Bhagavad Gita is a very spiritual book which gives us an opportunity. Prabhu, maybe you can put one more mat here. The intention was so that devotees can sit here. But it's okay, you can sit here. So, Bhagavad Gita gives a platform or gives an opportunity to Jiva. Jiva is spirit soul. Jiva to come to the level from senses and sentiments to spirit soul. Spirituality. Right? So, that is opportunity that Bhagavad Gita gives. And just to start again.
Recording in progress.
Okay. Right. So we are very, very fortunate that because of Srila Prabhupada, who is a founder of ISKCON, has given us an opportunity to read this scripture called Bhagavad Gita. He has put a lot of efforts in writing this. It is said that during the time of Vamandev, how many of you know the story of Vamandev? Vamandev, right? So in one of the dramas when we were doing Dashavataras in temple, my daughter was Vamandev. So she was acting like this, holding an umbrella, and with one leg she was standing. So she was. That's why it is important that if you see the maximum people who come to the temple, we have seen this. based on experiments and prior history, are the people who have kids. They bring their kids, हमारा तो कुछ हुआ नहीं, at least बच्चों का कुछ हो जाए. Like that. They know that it is important to have that basics, spiritual basics in place. But forget it. Kids should, right? But they themselves will watch all sorts of things. But kids should watch Narasimha Avatar and something like that. But kids don't see what you tell, they see what you actually do. So, anyways, sorry, I got digressed. What we were discussing about that? Vamandev. Yeah. So in Vamandev, there's a pastime where 2 steps were already placed on whom? Bali Maharaj. I was thinking of Hiranyakashipu. Bali Maharaj. And the 3rd step then, Vamandev asked Bali Maharaj, where should I keep? Then Bali Maharaj says that keep it on my head. And then while Vamandev was trying to put it on his head, he was trying to, obviously he became very big, right? So one of the tip of his toe touched the spiritual world, the border of the spiritual world. And from there, the Shweta Ganga started flowing. And that's how the entire material world, then it went through Brahmaji holded it. Then Bhagirath prayed. Then from Lord Shiva, it came down to this material world. But the first piercing that entered was from Vamandev. So it is said that just for the toes, lotus feet, touching the water, that has become transcendental. That water has become the transcendental. So what to speak of the words spoken by the Lord? The water that has touched the lotus feet of the Lord has so much potency of delivering a spirit soul. Because Ganges we say, right? It has the potency. So what to speak of the words spoken by Krishna, a supreme personality of Godhead. And those words are none other than Bhagavad Gita. Right? In Bhagavad Gita there are 2 conversations. One is conversation between Dhritarashtra and Sanjay. That is an external discussion. An internal discussion is between Krishna and Arjuna. Dhritarashtra and Sanjay are discussing between people and events. What is the first verse? First verse is Dhritarashtra Vacha Dharma Kshetra Kurukshetra Samaveta Yuyotsava Mam Kaha Pandavaschaiva Kim Akruta Sanjaya. So he says, Mam Kaha Pandavaschaiva, my sons and sons of Pandu. What were they doing? So he spoke about 2 things. One about people, my sons and sons of Pandu. And second thing he spoke about events. What were they doing? Correct? This is the discussion between Dhritarashtra and Sanjay. And at the end Sanjay is saying, Kauravas are going to lose. So there also he is speaking about people and events. But the discussion between Krishna and Arjuna is not about people and events. It's about wisdom. It's about spiritual wisdom. Arjuna is telling that I don't want to fight. Please guide me. And Krishna is saying that you are not this body, you are the spirit soul. First instruction that Krishna tells Arjuna. See, when you start explaining someone, you start from the basics. So the basic understanding that Krishna is telling to Arjuna, that you have to understand Arjuna, you are not this body, the spirit soul. So why are you worrying about people getting killed? They are anyways going to get killed because they are following the path of adharma. Right? So they are talking about wisdom. So there is internal conversation and there is external conversation. External conversation is between Dhritarashtra and Sanjay. And internal conversation is between Krishna and Arjuna. And that's why people say, they have a very famous saying, it says, small minds discuss people, average minds discuss events, but great minds discuss wisdom. Small minds discuss gossip. That guy did this, that guy did that. That cricket match was like this. Great, what a match, man. Right? So, small minds, average minds will discuss people and events, but great minds will discuss wisdom. What is there something that I can take which will help to raise my consciousness? Why is it that I'm getting frustrated? What can I do in my life to overcome this frustration? Why is there sorrow in the life? What is the difference between an animal and me? Is there something higher? Why am I not an insect? We were, last year we went for book distribution in San Diego. I have not yet started the class. Sorry. Well, 8 o'clock I'll end. You can ask others. As for timings, I am very punctual. Although I am from India, but this one thing I learned from Vaishnav Maharaj. You start on time and end on time. So, we were in San Diego, and the idea was we'll do book distribution. We did LA, San Diego, we went there, we were doing some Sankirtan. And we went to an aquarium. In San Diego, there is one famous aquarium. We wanted to show to our kids. We went there. And my kid was very in awe, and she was like, what is this? And there was weird kind of looking creatures and all. And then after 5-10 minutes, I told my daughter that if you don't chant Hare Krishna, next life you might become my friend. Literally I said that. If you don't chant Hare Krishna, because she was so enamored by that. I said, literally, because I myself was thinking that. And I'm very fortunate that people are not coming to see, hey, imagine I'm also sitting there. People are coming to see me. And I was grateful to Krishna that I have got the human form of life, where I can ask about high purpose of life. Dog will never ask. You will never see a dog asking, Baba, am I a spirit soul or am I a body? But that opportunity has been given to only human beings. And that's a rare opportunity. That's what differentiates a human being from all the other species of life. There are 8,400,000 species. That's what Shastra explained. 8,400,000. Can you imagine? That's too much to handle. Right? And out of that, we had human form of life. We could have got any other form. And then my daughter was chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. She and other one, Gita Priya, my neighbor's daughter. So, we are very, very fortunate that we have got this human form of life. But the human form of life can be wasted by being on, by the way, we were talking about the Achyuta Chaitanya. He is the one. He said, I don't want to be on Instagram. But when I was telling him to help him Stanford. Anyways, but Srila Prabhupada once told that you should be scared of Maya, because Maya initially it looks very nice. Instagram also looks very nice. But once you get into it, whoa, then you're just scrolling. It's very hard to get out. Right? So, sorry again. Yeah, so this human form of life is very rare. And somehow we have got this opportunity, so we should take full advantage of it to understand what is the higher purpose of life. What is the higher purpose of life? And that is to inquire. The entire scriptures, Vedas and everything, the final commentary or final conclusion is in Vedanta Sutra. There is a text called Vedanta Sutra. And then the commentary on the Vedanta Sutra is Srimad Bhagavatam. And in that Vedanta Sutra, the first line of the Vedanta Sutra is Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Athato Brahma Jigyasa is now is the time to inquire, not tomorrow. Because we say, right, when we become old, that's what we say, right? When we will become old, we will inquire. My Mamaji is there when I got, everybody has their own Mamaji. My uncle, my mother's brother. So I was telling him the other day, because once he was seeing me chanting Hare Krishna, so he was very inspired. So he was saying, I also want to chant, but life is so busy. So he was saying that. I said, no, it's not busy. I'm also working, you're also working. Just take out 1.5 hours in the morning, just chant Hare Krishna. Just read for 5-10 minutes, Bhagavad Gita. So he said, no. My daughter is still studying. She was still doing her CFA. Preeti, Chinky. So he said that once her studies are done, then it's all good. She'll start working. So I'll not have that burden of earning for her. Then, beta, I'll give everything, my time to Krishna. I said, perfect. Very nice. So then Now she is working. So I said, now at least you can. I said, no. The elder daughter is still not married. So once she is married, then I will, perfect, I will give my time to her. Now she is also married. Now she has kids. So now she is saying that now to give time to kids. So this cycle is like that. We think that once we get older, then we will do our Krishna consciousness spirituality. But time never comes. It says the cycle of life. The starting is spills. We spill everything. Right? We spill everything. So first is spills, then is chills. Spills, then is drills. Drills is we start learning 1 2 za 2, 2 2 za 4. So drill. Right? We are repeating the same thing again and again. First is spills, then is drills, then is chills. Pre-youth. We're just chilling on the beach, right? Seeing the ocean. Wow, what a life. He's living dobara. Right? That kind of feeling comes. Right? That kind of feeling comes. So we do chills. So it can't start with spills, we spill everywhere. Then it's drills, then it is chills, then it's thrills. We'll jump from the top of the building or top of the what? That airplane, we'll have a video, we'll put it on the Instagram that I jumped from it. Right? There will be extra cost for the video, but we'll pay for it because that is why we are jumping. Right? So thrills. Right? So first is spills. Then is drills. Then chills. Then is thrills. Then is bills. Right? Wife is spending, husband is spending, kids are spending. I want to go to Michael's, I want to go to Target, I want this khilona, this toy, that toy. And the husband or wife, sorry, both of them are busy paying bills. And we are so busy in our life that you have no time for yoga and all. Then there is ills. We are ill, right? And then we are eating pills, right? Then we are eating pills. Then the old age comes. Then we are making bills. This will go to this person, this will go to that person, that will go to that person. And finally, kills. That is the cycle of life. And again, this spills in some new body. Depends on what kind of body it is. So that is the cycle of life. And Bhagavad Gita helps us to come out of that cycle of life. Spills, chills, thrills, all that. So it's very important. It's very important. And that is why we should try to take association of devotees. Even if we are not understanding what is going, but at least we should understand there's something higher than what I am learning in my office or in my college. There's something higher. I told this story in Mantra Room, and it's so important because same thing I felt when I read Science of Civilization for the first time. So Srila Prabhupada, when he came first time, I mean many of you might not know, let me first introduce about Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada is the founder Acharya of ISKCON. ISKCON is International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And one who started ISKCON is Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada, when he first came to Boston, he came, and from Boston he came to New York. And he had a very heavy Bengali accent. Like that he used to speak, very heavy. If you hear some of his lectures, you can understand. So there was a devotee, his name was Michael Grant. Later on his name became Mukunda Goswami. And he heard the first class, and his realization, he writes in his book, 26 Second Avenue. You can read that book, it's a very beautiful book. He writes in that book that first class when I attended, I did not understand a word. Many of us have been going through this journey, especially when we talk about ChatGPT, LLM. I always still think like that. I don't understand a word. There are some courses happening. So this person said in his book, I did not understand a word what that Swamiji was speaking. But I understood one thing, that is speaking something which is very important for me. And I should take it seriously. He just took out that one thing. He did not understand anything what he spoke. But he understood only one thing, that is Swamiji is talking something which is very, very important for me, and I should take it seriously. And then he kept coming. And his very first transformed. Later on he became Mukund Goswami. So, and yeah, that's why it is important that we take this scripture very seriously. 7:35 we should start. I was just giving an introduction of Bhagavad Gita. So, yeah. So, we were reading this entire section of Bhagavad Gita that we are reading is a ladder of love. Ladder of love it's called. That Krishna is a person who is very merciful. Merciful means he is giving an opportunity to the reader that if you can't do this, at least do this. If you can't do this, at least do this. If you can't do this also, at least do this. So he gives 4 stages, a ladder of 4 stages that what you can do. So last week we discussed the 8th verse, which is topmost, which talks about absorption. Let's go to that verse and then we'll go to the verse that we are discussing today. If you want, you can take the book from here. You can remove Acyuta Chaitanya Prabhu. 12.8. So now we'll do a little bit reading and then you can open that flap. You're on chapter number 12, verse number 8. Yeah. And if in case you feel there are some kids things are also going inside, but if kids want to hear also, that's also good. There's one girl, her name is Geeta Priya. When she was 2 years old, she used to come to our Bhakti Rishab because we started in 2018 or something. That time she was 2 years old. And she used to come and just sit. I don't know what she understood, but one good quality she had was she was just sitting and listening. I don't know if she understood anything. Now she's around 7 years old and now she took shelter from Vaishika Maharaj. So just 2 years old, So Prahlad Maharaj says, Kaumaram is as early as possible we should take this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So we should try to the best of our capacity, whatever we can. But if kids want to, there's some kids things are also going inside. So we were in 8th verse. So it's a section where Krishna is telling to Arjuna. Arjuna asks the question in 12th chapter that should I do impersonal worship or personal worship? Impersonal worship we spoke in length, Brahma Jyoti and light. Should I focus on all that, or should I worship Krishna as a person? And then Krishna says that the impersonal path is very cumbersome. It's hard. Imagine I tell you to close your eyes and don't think of an apple. First thing you will think of an apple. It's very hard. So Krishna is saying to Arjuna that closing your eyes and thinking of nothing is very hard. So instead you can hold something, and that is Krishna. Then you can think of Krishna, you can think of Krishna's beauty, you can think of Krishna's pastime, Guna, Leela, Adi. You can think of so many things. You can think of Krishna's spoken words. So Krishna tells to Arjuna that it is better to have personal worship than impersonal worship. You can still reach to me, but it is a little cumbersome. And then he starts glorifying. 6th, 7th verse, he glorifies the personal worship of Krishna. And then Krishna tells to Arjuna, then he tells that what are the steps, what can you do, how can you start, what is the topmost thing? Because he's talking about the personal worship, he's talking about the topmost thing. This chapter name, this 12th chapter is Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga means the topmost yoga. Every chapter in Bhagavad Gita is known as yoga. The first chapter is known as Shainya Yoga. Shainya Yoga means seeing. Arjuna was seeing the battlefield. And just by seeing the battlefield, he was connecting with Krishna. Yoga comes from the dhatu, the root word yoga comes from the word yujya. Yujya means to connect. Connect with whom? Krishna. So any kind of yoga we do, the ultimate goal is to connect with Krishna. It's not to connect with the body. That's a side effect. We are doing so that we can connect with Krishna. So yoga means to connect. And Bhakti Yoga means to connect with Krishna through a process of devotional service. So in the 8th verse, Krishna is talking about the highest form of devotional service that we discussed as. So we can read from here. Smita, you want to start? You are able to, Achyut Balram, are you able to, Harshal, you are able to see, Ajay, and from this, okay.
From the translation.
Just translation. Take a mic and do this. Everybody is there on 12th chapter, verse number 8. Everybody there.
Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Engage all your intelligence in me, thus you will live in me always without a doubt.
This is absorption. This is topmost. Just remembering Krishna all the time. You can remember by the Sanskrit word smarana. Smarana. Okay, I'll ask you at the end. I will talk about 4S in this entire ladder of love. Okay, 8 words talks about smarana. Smarana means absorption. Absorption is always remembering Krishna and nothing else. And what is the way? Mind and intelligence. And you might think, it is very hard. Imagine if I tell you, just remember Krishna. You will say, no, I have to work also, Prabhu, I have to do this also, that also. How can I just remember Krishna? I can give you an example. Some of you might know Bhagavad Gita Prabhu. Some of you might not know also. It's a very interesting story. So he joined .com. .com is a company which is known as Golden Shackles company. I forget why it is known as it, but it is known like that. It is very hard to leave that company for whatever reason it is. But there is a drawback also that every day you have to go for work in person. What we call it in Buddhism, RTO. Return to office. Every day you have to go to office. So once me and Govind were discussing that Prabhu, oh, you know him, right? Don't tell him that I was telling this story. So I was trying to Govind Prabhu, whatever it is. He was telling me that, every day it's going to office, it's hard, like that. And he has a lot of services. He's trying to serve his guru in whatever capacity it is. And his guru's name is Indranand Swami. So he was just discussing, I was telling him, even if it is RTO, but I'm sure you will not leave the company because you can use that Lakshmi for Krishna's service. I was telling. So he said, no, Prabhu, it is very hard every day going to office. Because of that, I'm not able to do seva. What I can do for Guru. So I said, yeah, but there are pros and cons like that. So I was always telling him, and he said, yeah, Prabhu, but I'm still thinking, what should I do? And then once I just went to Mello Park, because Maharaj was there and I was trying to serve Maharaj, Prashadam. And that time suddenly he was speaking to this Prabhu's wife. And he was just saying that, Govind Charan, he left the company, right? So he must be free now. He said, what? He left the company? I didn't even know. So I told, when did he leave? So Mataji said, we can discuss tomorrow later on, or you can talk to Prabhu. So immediately I left the room. I said, Sarvi kya bhad mein? I told Mataji, you serve. And I left the room and I said, Prabhu, you left the company? How can you do that? I was trying to understand what was the reason, and then he said that, Prabhu, I was not able to serve my guru to the fullest. I felt like that. And that time when he said that, imagine, the way he was at a very high position. But he felt that whatever Lakshmi he was getting, it was coming in the way of his service. If something is coming in the way of the service, then he doesn't want it. If it's allowing me to serve Krishna, then I want it. But if it's coming in the way of serving, then I don't want it. That's very hard. And that is absorption. And see, now, then I told him, but now how will you serve your guru? Because one of the way you're serving is by Lakshmi and all. He said, I'll think of something. I'll do something. But this was coming in the way. And that time I was thinking that it is not hard. Each one of us can do. I'm not saying you to leave the company. But I'm saying at your pace, from your place, by Krishna's grace, you can do something. You can do something. So Krishna here is saying the topmost is remembering Krishna all the time. Smarana. That is hard. But that is the North Star. In our company we had this, the project I'm working on is, they call it North Star. North Star, that is my goal. That is the topmost goal. And North Star. That is our North Star in spiritual life. Always remember Krishna. We saw recently, we went to the movie Narasimha Avatar, and whatever problems he was facing, but he was remembering Krishna all the time. Oh no, Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That was the only thing he was remembering. Imagine there is a situation where devotee is seeing Krishna everywhere, and Hiranyakashipu was not seeing Krishna anywhere. Same father and son relationship. At the same place, they both are standing. One person is seeing Krishna everywhere, and one person is not seeing Krishna anywhere. That's absorption. Hiranyakashipu was completely absorbed in himself, and Prahlad Maharaj was completely absorbed in Krishna. Whatever I am doing, I want to do it for Krishna. That might seems hard, but it is achievable when we get the higher taste. I'll give an example of my personal life. Not the higher taste of Krishna that I'm still trying, but some other higher taste. I was in Sadhu Sangha retreat. How many of you have been to Sadhu Sangha? I know Ruchira, Smita Mataji, Acyuta Chaitanya Prabhu. Many have gone. It's addictive. If you go, I'll highly encourage you to visit Sadhu Sangha retreat. It happens in the last month of May, and you know who is the organizer? Can you guess? Govind Chandra Prabhu. Anyways, so he had this huge program that people from all over the world come there, and 24/7, like from 5 a.m. to 12, almost 10 p.m. we do kirtan. It's a different level. So so it was early morning, around 9 o'clock. I started feeling hungry, and I was going towards the prasadam. So sometimes considered as one of the topmost prasadam. They at different level. When you come, you will come to know. So I was going towards the prasadam. I was very hungry, but before that, it was a very big, like a mansion or something, hotel where this event was going on. So just before that, there was some other group of people who were having their breakfast, and there were cupcakes, pretzels, all those sorts of American things and all were there. I was seeing it. Suddenly I felt, wish I could eat all this. Immediately the thought came, wish I could eat all this, because I was hungry and I saw that variety of things, like cookies and all that. And immediately that came, and within 2 seconds that went away. And heck, what to eat this? Now I'm going to get, grand breakfast. So immediately I thought that this is what is Krishna consciousness. Once you have got the higher taste, my higher taste was at prasadam. In my case it was at prasadam, but once you get that higher taste, then you're no longer hankering for that lower taste. Presence is not a lower taste, but it's not prasadam, it's not offered to the Lord. But that was offered to the Lord. And I knew obviously what was the menu and all, because I was also part of that cooking team. But that same is in Krishna consciousness. When you get the higher taste, then you're no longer hankering for the lower taste. Prahlad Maharaj had the entire kingdom. He was the son of a person who was ruling all the 3 universes. Only 3 people he was not ruling. Only 3 people. Lord Vishnu, Brahmaji, and Lord Shiva. They were the only 3 people he was not ruling. Every other demigod in this material world, just if he raised his eyes, they were shivering. That was their position. And he was the son of that personality. Imagine his power. Prahlad Maharaj could have said, "Hey, hum to hum hai," like that. No, right? But he had the higher taste. Because of that, all these things was not giving him taste. Everyone was saying him that you have this kingdom, everything you can rule. He said, "No. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I want Vishnu." Right? So that is absorption. This is what Krishna is talking about in verse number 8. What is the word that we talk about for verse number 8? Smarana. Right? Smarana. Then someone might say, "Arey yaar, I came out of first class." What are you talking about? You might think that this is too much to handle. So Krishna is saying, no worries. If you can't do this, then do this. In the entire Bhagavad Gita, this is the most sweetest part, where Krishna is giving us opportunity that if you can't do this, then do this. If you can't do this, do this. If you can't do this also, then do this. Right? So we discussed. 30 minutes are remaining. Oh my God, I didn't even start the words that we're discussing. Ninth. Now we can go to the next one. Translation. Ruchira.
My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulated principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me.
Yeah. So now what he's saying is, develop a desire. We spoke about yoga means to connect. These words talk about Abhyasa Yoga. Abhyasa Yoga means yoga by practice. Connect with Krishna by practice. And the term that is sadhana, swadhyay or seva. Again S. Sadhana, swadhyay or seva. You can connect with Krishna, you can absorb yourself in Krishna, you can remember Krishna, smaranam through sadhana. What is the sadhana? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We can chant the holy names of the Lord. We can take the association of sadhus. We can read Swadhyay, we can read spiritual books. Oh, see how Mataji. She now has, this is how mother is. She is taking one care of the child, at the same time she is trying to listen. This is what the spiritual world, material world is. We are trying to do our duties, but at the same time we are remembering Krishna. Right? Thank you. Nice example. Right? This is how we are also living this completely. It's like lotus flower. We are on the water, but we are not touched by the water. Like a lotus flower. That might be tough, but when we start doing sadhana, swadhyay, seva, and it helps us to do the smarana. So the second verse, this verse talks about sadhana, swadhyaya or seva. Right? You can remember as sadhana. Sadhana means practice. Practice. Abhyasa yoga. That's what Krishna is saying. If you can't smaranam, if you can't do smaranam, smaranam is continuously memory Krishna, nothing else. I know so many devotees. Whatever if I strike a conversation with him, that guy will again bring something back there only. I was once driving Gaurang Prabhu from Salesforce back to home. So 5 minutes we were discussing about GV and all, and suddenly he opened his book and he started reading Chaitanya Chaitanya. If they are devotees, you can understand, they will not discuss about anything else, they just about Krishna or Srila Prabhupada or devotees. Smaranam, they just want to remember Krishna, nothing else. Right? Like, I can give you a gross example of it. How many of you have heard the word series 24/7? Have you heard Jack Bauer? No? I think it's for old people like me. It's a series which takes around 18 hours to complete one season, 20 hours. And that entire series, one season is 1 day of that Jack Bauer trying to protect his president of America. And it's like that. So that name of the series, I think it's 24 series, something like that. And I was so absorbed, I used to watch that entire season, one season in 1 day. That's absorption. But we should not have that absorption. 20 hours a day. Imagine I should not sleep also. I was to lie on my couch and I was to watch on my laptop. Just after my UIC was getting completed. Watching that only, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. I didn't know what is that because I was not associating with devotees. That's why I came to know how to chant and all that. But I didn't stop my chanting. But anyways, but that is material absorption. But Krishna is saying similarly you can have absorption. But if you can't do that, then practice. Practice through sadhana, swadhyaya, seva, do some service. But then you can slowly remember Krishna. If you are with devotees, then you will have nothing else to do. See, you can't sit in devotee and in front of you do Instagram. Devotees say like that, Prabhuji, right? They will say like that. So you will not do anything. You will talk to us. You will talk about Krishna. Right? That's normal. That's all. So when you are with devotees, automatically you will think of Krishna. Right? That's why Krishna is saying, do abhyas, sadhana. Right? Now we have 9 minutes and we'll go to the verse that we wanted to start the class with. Right? So now Krishna is saying, if you can't do smaranam, then do sadhana. If you can't do sadhana also, then you do sahayam. We will soon see what is sahayam. Sahayam means support. Support Krishna. How will you support Krishna? We will see. Right? So you can repeat after me. Abhyase prasmartosi Matkarma paramo bhava Madartham api karmani Kurvan siddhim avapsyasi. See, here also you are seeing abhyas. Abhyas means practice. Because we are not in topmost absorption stage. So now we have to practice. Now indirectly you serve at least Krishna. Support. How we can support? You can just support in, there is food for life, like in ISKCON. There is other things. What are the other things for you? Family where we can, there are many other projects. So anyways, so that is indirect service. Indirect service we can do, that is supporting the movement. We can see the translation, we can understand. Who will read?
If you cannot practice the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, then just try.
And put your mic up to the chin. Vaishnava Maharaj says, to the chin.
If you cannot practice the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, then just try to work for me, because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage.
Right? Work for me. Work for me means not swadhyaya, seva or sadhana. Just support me in my movement. Just support me. Like once Srila Prabhupada, when he started, nobody was helping him. He used to do classes, he used to cook, he used to clean. Everything. Clean the toilets, everything he used to do. Then once a hippie came to Srila Prabhupada and said, oh, the toilet paper is not there. Swamiji, can I help you? That is Seva. One says Seva, or you can say indirect service at least. And then Shri said, finally, at least you support me in my movement. And then he said, yes, please help. Then he brought, his only service was to bring toilet paper to the program. See, this is how you start. This is how you start. Right? And slowly you come to the second stage, then first stage. Purport we can read and then we can stop. It's already late. Yeah, we have 6 minutes. It's a nice purport. Here Shri Prabhupada is explaining what is the third stage. What is the third stage? Who wants to read? Ruchi Mataji, you can read.
One was not able even to practice the regulated principles of
What is regulated principles of Bhakti Yoga? What is the word that we said? Sadhana. Prashadam is coming. Sadhana. Right? Sadhana. See, when you are in cricket, imagine you are in cricket field. Will you sit like this? You say Sachin, Chakka, not his, but Sachin, sixer, you will say like that, right? You will say, so you will shout to the top of the voice. Why? Because you are into it. You want to, right? So similarly, when we are very spiritual, we should be full of full of energy. Energy, I'm losing the words. Yeah, go ahead.
under the guidance of a spiritual master, can still be drawn to this perfectional stage by working for the Supreme Lord. How to do this work has already been explained in the 55th verse of the 11th chapter. One should be sympathetic to the propagation of Krishna consciousness.
Sympathetic. See, that person was sympathetic to Srila Prabhupada. That this Swamiji, every day he is having program. He is not taking help. He is cooking, he is giving classes, he is cleaning the pots, he is cleaning the house, he is cleaning the toilet. Everything Swamiji is doing. He felt that person felt sympathy. This is the starting stage, starting times of ISKCON when he was starting. So then this person, this hippie, felt sympathy that I want to help. Right? That is Krishna Singh at least had that stage. Indirect service.
There are many devotees who are engaged in the propagation of Krishna consciousness and they require help. So even if one cannot directly practice the regulated principles of Bhakti Yoga, he can try to help such people. Every endeavor requires land, capital, organization and labor. Just as in business, one requires a place to stay, some capital to use, some labor and some organization to expand. So the same is required in the service of Krishna. The only difference is that in materialism, one works for sense gratification. The same work, however, can be performed for the satisfaction of Krishna, and that is spiritual activity. If one has sufficient money, he can help in building an office or temple for propagating Krishna consciousness, or he can help with publication. There are various fields of activity, and one should be interested in such activities. If one cannot sacrifice the results of his activities, the same person can still sacrifice some percentage to propagate Krishna consciousness. This voluntary service to the cause of Krishna consciousness will help one to rise to a higher state of love for God, whereupon one becomes perfect.
Whereupon one becomes perfect. So how do? We just help. Whatever we are running, we can give some part of it to Krishna, to the temple. We can help in setting up the program, we can help in winding up the program. Something or other we can do, we can help support spreading Krishna consciousness. We can help support spreading Krishna consciousness. Sahayam. So first we discussed is Smarana. If we can't do Smarana, then Sadhana or Swadhyaya or Seva. Swadhyaya means to read, Seva means to serve, Sadhana means to practice. If we can't do that, then Sahayam. We can support, we can help in propagating Krishna consciousness. Right? So this is what Krishna is talking about in this verse. The next verse we can do it next time. When Mataji was reading, I remember one thing. Vaishnava said in the class that people like to take risks in their life, adventures. Right? Like I was talking about adventure, bungee jumping it's called, parasailing, whatever. Skydiving. Okay, skydiving. Yeah, so they are jumping from the helicopter or whatever plane, right? And they're jumping, then they're taking a video. Then, and many other. I remember there was one movie, I forgot. Amir Khan takes a matchbox, he takes like this, and then he puts on the tongue, like this he does, something like that. Right? And then, but he doesn't catch his fire, something like that. And there are so many stunts we see in this material world. Mac is thinking, I'll tell you after that. There's a very famous one. See, I used to be a movie buff. I used to watch movies a lot. That's why 24 series, 20 hours. But now I'm trying to doctor it to Krishna consciousness. Anyways, Vaishnava was saying in the class that if you really are adventurous, put your adventure in Krishna consciousness. Punarpi Janam, Punarpi Maranam. Lifetime after lifetime, we have taken many different bodies. This lifetime, be adventurous. Put your investment in Krishna. Put your investment in Krishna. Be adventurous and see what can happen. That's what we're doing. When you're skydiving, do we know we'll be safe for sure? We don't know. Right? We are still taking a risk. So then Vaishnava Maharaj said, take a risk. Take up Krishna consciousness. Imagine if whatever is Srila Prabhupada mentioning is right. Next life will be Golo Vrindavan. We'll be back home, back together. Once a new person came to Srila Prabhupada, he said that, Swamiji, if whatever you are saying is all wrong, then he said, still, we had a good time. We used to have prasadam, we used to dance, we used to sing, we used to read. It was such a gala time. But imagine if whatever we did is right, then what will happen to you? He asked the person. Then he said, please take up Krishna consciousness. Take this life seriously. Because we don't know what will happen. So it's a humble request that please keep coming here. Tomorrow is Balram Jayanti. That's why we prepone our entire program 6, 8 to 8 and give feedback. If you think this timing suits all of you, then you'll be happy to do this so that we can wind up early. And keep coming, and especially all this that we are doing is for one goal, that you all come for Sunday feast or Saturday morning program in temple, because we all are sadhakas, we are all practicing. But when you come in contact with a very advanced Vaishnava, that's when the spirituality really fructifies. It comes to the next level. And in our temple we have Vaishnava Maharaj. He's a very advanced Vaishnava. And take his association. How can you take his association? By hearing from him. Saturday morning he gives classes. Sunday evening sometimes he gives classes. Just come and hear. And there are many advanced Vaishnavas in our temple. So please come and take their association. And when you come together, the association rubs on us. When you are with a drunkard, after some time you will also start drinking. Right? That's just the... And similarly, when you take association of spiritualists, it rubs on us. So tomorrow is Balram Jayanti. Happy birthday of Balramji. Right? So we don't say happy birthday, we say more like an appearance day, because they don't take birth and death. They appear and they unmanifested manifest based on their leelas. So tomorrow is Balram Jayanti. If you need ride, you can contact me or you can contact Acyuta Balram, Nishant Prabhu. He has a car for a week. He's taken a car. Or many other devotees are there. You please come to the temple tomorrow. Balram Jayanti is there in the evening. We'll post in the group. And it's a humble request. Every day you have time, just chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra at least one time a day for 7 minutes, 108 times. Whatever you eat, you offer it to Krishna and then eat, then it becomes prasadam. And just read one verse a day with translation commentary. And just if you do this much, in 2 years, you can complete the entire Bhagavad Gita. We all have the Bhagavad Gita as it is, in lal kapra or in red cloth, and kept it on that altar. When my kid will come, I will push him to read this. Sometimes we can also take that endeavor to read it. Then life will become Jingalala. And then life will become great. Right? So with that, we will end here. It's 8:02. What we'll do is, during the prasadam, we can discuss if any questions, any comments are there. I think they are going to still set up. It will take 5 minutes. Nowadays she is getting late. Now I used to first. That's good. I get more time. So what we'll do is, we'll end still here because of the respect of time. What we'll do is, if anyone has any questions, reflection helps all of us to remember what we learned. So you can just share some reflections, or if you have any questions, we can discuss as well. One more thing is, as soon as the class ends, please put all the mats at the back, because you will see kids running around. So they should not fall, and they should not fall in a plate. So just put the mats back. So yeah. So any reflections, anything that you want to take back when you go back home. If you come across a person and he asks you, and where were you? What were you doing? So what will you say? Will you say, "Arey, my what?" I also don't know what I was doing. If you want to share something, well, you go ahead.
So when I keep the dogs out for
says work is worship. But my mother on the other side, she can do idol worship, but that's her way of dedicating. And so for me it's like a balance, because first I thought this is what is right, and then now I feel like it's practical, like I gotta do something, but then at the same time I can also do that. But so I think it's more of an awareness, like the multitasking. So I feel like maybe everybody has their own way of bringing the consciousness.
Yes, work is worship. That statement, Krishna says in the second chapter itself, Karmaniya Vadikanasya Mahaparishudalachana. But he says that offer that results to me. That is more important. Just working is not enough, because then, anyways. But offering the results of it was to Krishna.
I mean, when we are working on something, sorry, just one quick thing. When we come up, like when I come across a tough case that I have to work on, I say, oh God, Anjaneya, how do I do this? So I feel like consciously or unconsciously, the name is
like she brings, every time whenever she comes, she brings flowers to offer communities. So somewhere or the other we support Krishna consciousness. Ruchira, go ahead.
Question. So when we say offer results to Krishna, does it mean like there are different meanings that I see from it. One is to just leave the results to Krishna and say whatever is best, like let it happen. But I guess like in what way can you say whatever results are there, it's yours and I accept whatever you desire? Like I guess exactly what is the meaning of offering
when
results?
we say we offer our results to Krishna, we are indirectly basically saying that Krishna, whatever I am doing, I am actually doing for you. It is helping me to practice my Krishna. Imagine you are being told to go in a hut, a small hut, a village, and just chant Hare Krishna from there. Maybe at your position you might feel no. For me it will be easier. I can practice Krishna consciousness if I have this house, if I have this, if I have that. So whatever, that's why I said, at your pace, from your place, by Krishna's grace, you can practice Krishna consciousness. At your pace, whatever your pace is, from your place, whatever you are comfortable, and then you can serve Krishna. So similarly, you can see that what is easier, whatever is easier for me to practice Krishna consciousness. So you are using that office as a bait so that you can practice Krishna consciousness. And you can try to the best of your capacity, how can I use this environment which is offered to me by Krishna in Krishna consciousness. Like for example, I can give a simple example. My wife, Manjari, you will see inside in anxiety, we can handle for the kids and all. Once a month, she organizes a book packing event. And people from any class, grade, anyone, they all come together and they do Bhagavad Gita book packing. Science of How you saw that book packing, you saw that book packs. That's actually helping in Salesforce. They're happening in Salesforce and Salesforce is paying for it. That is using the environment that is offered to Krishna, offered by Krishna to Krishna. Who has given that job to you? Krishna. It's like Ganges. We're taking that Ganges water and offer back to Krishna to the best of our capacity. Some can do 50%, some can do 10% of the money also. But to the best of your capacity, which you are comfortable. Not you are giving and then you are frustrated. Manga to de diya. No. Whatever you are comfortable with, it can be any number, which you are comfortable. And that's your part. That is one way. Lakshmi is one way. Or you can. I know many devotees who are doing spreading of Krishna consciousness from the company. There is one devotee, his name is Rohini Dulal, and he is doing weekly Bhagavad Gita classes in Apple. And one person came to our program through Apple. So we see that how devotees are connecting with whatever capacity they are, with whatever they have, trying to connect with Krishna. And the resources that has been offered to us, we can see how can we serve it to Krishna. I'll give you a simple example, my personal example. When we bought this house, our house was this much. That was our house. And when Vaishika Maharaj came in one of the programs, it was Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur's parents' day or disappearance day, but it was just one day before of Christmas. It was a Christmas Eve, and we had around 100 people, 100 devotees were there, and they all were, crammed inside that room. And Vaishika Maharaj just, maybe I don't know, but he just said, may this place and expand, so more devotees can come. And but that just I just took it to the heart. It was around 2018 or something, and then that time I felt that that place is very small for devotees to come and hear Krishna Katha. And then I was thinking, how can I expand my place? And then I was thinking, maybe I can have a sunroom. So whatever resources we have, how can we can use it for Krishna sake? Then 2020 came, this came COVID, and we thought, let's start construction. Anyways, nothing is happening. So the point is, whatever we have, the resources that has been given by Krishna, we can see to the best of our capacity, how can we give it back? Right? When we're taking care of child, when we're taking care of my family, that is also Krishna consciousness. If we are thinking that this kid that is given to me, it's given to me by Krishna, and I should make sure that I raise her in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, because that is a responsibility that Krishna is giving to me. And the spouse or husband, wife that we have, how can I give Krishna consciousness to my spouse, and how can she give to me? Otherwise, this life is of no use. Human life is meant for that. To athato brahma jigyasa, to inquire about the absolute truth. Did that answer or?